The sound of a child's laughter echoed through the park as a little girl with pigtails swung higher and higher, her father's strong hands pushing her gently from behind. "Higher, Daddy, higher," she squealed with delight. But it wasn't this heartwarming scene that caught Eliza Morgan's attention, it was what happened next. When the little girl decided she wanted to jump, her father positioned himself in front of the swing, arms outstretched. "Jump, I'll catch you," he said with such unwavering confidence that even Eliza, a complete stranger watching from a nearby bench, believed him. The little girl launched herself into the air without hesitation, complete trust in her eyes. In that suspended moment, Eliza felt something crack open inside her chest, a longing so profound it took her breath away. If you're enjoying this story of unexpected connection and second chances, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt stories that remind us love can find us in the most ordinary moments. Eliza hadn't planned on spending her Saturday afternoon at Oakwood Park. At 34, with a failed marriage behind her and a career that consumed most of her waking hours, parks weren't exactly on her regular itinerary. But the manuscript she was editing, a romance novel, ironically, had given her such a headache that she'd decided fresh air might clear her mind. Now, watching the single dad with his daughter, she wondered if coming here had been a mistake. It made the emptiness of her apartment seem that much more pronounced. The little girl was now running toward the slide, her father following at a measured pace, giving her independence while staying close enough to intervene if needed. There was something about him, beyond the obvious good looks, that drew Eliza's attention. Perhaps it was the gentle patience in his interactions with his daughter, or maybe it was the hint of sadness that occasionally crossed his face when the child wasn't looking. Eliza tried to focus on her book, but her eyes kept drifting back to them. The man caught her gaze once and smiled politely before turning his attention back to his daughter. That brief connection sent an unexpected flutter through Eliza's chest. Ridiculous, she chided herself. She was not the type to get flustered over a stranger's smile. An hour passed, and Eliza was about to leave when a small voice interrupted her thoughts. "Excuse me, lady? Can you help me?" The little girl from the swing set stood before her, holding a kite with tangled strings. "Sophia." The father jogged over, concern etched on his face. "I'm so sorry," he said to Eliza. "She ran off while I was packing our things." "It's no problem," Eliza replied, smiling at the little girl. "What's wrong with your kite?" "The strings got all messy," Sophia explained, her brown eyes serious. "Daddy tried to fix it, but he made it worse." The father laughed, a warm sound that seemed to brighten the air around them. "Guilty as charged. I'm Noah, by the way. Noah Carter. And this little diplomat is Sophia." "Eliza Morgan," she introduced herself, taking the kite. "I used to be pretty good at untangling these things. Mind if I try?" As Eliza worked on the kite, Noah sat beside her on the bench, and Sophia watched with fascination. The conversation flowed easily between them, about the perfect kite-flying weather, about Sophia's upcoming first-grade year, about the neighborhood. Nothing profound, just comfortable small talk that somehow felt significant. When the kite was finally untangled, Sophia's face lit up. "Thank you. Can you come fly it with us?" Eliza glanced at Noah, not wanting to impose. "We'd love the company," he said, and something in his eyes told Eliza he meant it. That afternoon marked the beginning. What started as a chance encounter evolved into deliberate meetings, first at the park with Sophia, then coffee while Sophia was at a playdate, and eventually dinner after Sophia was tucked in bed at Noah's mother's house. Eliza learned that Noah had been a single father for 3 years, since his wife died from complications during childbirth. He'd moved to be closer to his mother, who helped with Sophia while he worked as an architect. He learned that Eliza was an editor who divorced her husband after discovering his affair, that she loved thunderstorms and hated cilantro, that she'd always wanted children but had begun to believe that part of her life story might remain unwritten. Their connection deepened, but Eliza kept a careful distance. She'd been hurt before, and the stake seemed even higher with Noah, because of Sophia, because of the intensity of her feelings, because she sensed that losing them would break something in her that might not heal. 3 months after their first meeting, Noah invited Eliza to Sophia's 6th birthday party. It was a small gathering at their home, just family, a few of Sophia's friends, and Eliza. Throughout the afternoon, Eliza found herself drawn into their world more completely than ever before. She helped serve cake, tied balloon animals, poorly, much to everyone's amusement, and sat beside Sophia as she opened presents. When Sophia unwrapped Eliza's gift, a set of books Eliza had loved as a child, the little girl threw her arms around Eliza's neck. "You're the best, Liza," she declared, using the nickname she'd created. The simple acceptance in that embrace nearly brought Eliza to tears. Later, after the guests had gone and Sophia was playing with her new toys in the living room, Noah found Eliza in the kitchen, washing dishes despite his protests. "Thank you," he said, taking a plate from her hands and drying it. "Not just for helping today, but for everything these past few months. Sophia adores you." "I adore her too," Eliza admitted, her hands stilling in the soapy water. "She's an amazing little girl." Noah set down the dish towel and turned to face her fully. "And what about her dad? How do you feel about him?" The directness of the question caught Eliza off guard. She looked up into Noah's eyes and saw vulnerability there, a mirror of her own fears. "I think her dad is pretty amazing too," she said softly. "But Noah, I'm scared. This isn't just about us. There's Sophia to consider, and I don't want to complicate her life if..." "If what?" Noah prompted when she trailed off. "If this doesn't work out. If I'm not what you both need. If I can't be what Sophia needs in her life." Noah took her hands, still wet with dishwater. "Eliza, I've spent 3 years being careful, putting Sophia first, not letting anyone get close enough to hurt either of us. But from that first day in the park, something told me you were different. I've watched how you are with her, patient, kind, honest. You don't talk down to her or try too hard to impress her. You're just yourself, and she responds to that authenticity." Eliza felt tears threatening. "I've never done this before. I don't know how to be a part of someone else's family." "Neither do I," Noah admitted. "After Claire died, I thought that part of my life was over. I focused entirely on being Sophia's dad. But then you came along with your book and your thoughtful eyes, and suddenly I remembered what it felt like to want something for myself too." A crash from the living room interrupted them, followed by Sophia's voice. "Oops. Don't worry, nothing broke." They both laughed, the tension broken. Noah squeezed Eliza's hands once more before releasing them. "Just think about it, okay? No pressure, no rush. We can take this as slowly as you need. But life doesn't always allow for careful planning." 2 weeks later, Sophia came down with a high fever in the middle of the night. Noah, in a panic, called Eliza when the pediatrician advised taking Sophia to the emergency room and his mother wasn't answering her phone. Eliza met them at the hospital, her hair uncombed and wearing mismatched shoes, having rushed out of her apartment the moment Noah called. For hours, she sat with them in the sterile waiting room, holding Noah's hand while Sophia dozed fitfully against his chest. When the doctors finally diagnosed Sophia with a severe ear infection and administered antibiotics, Eliza felt relief wash over her as powerfully as if Sophia were her own child. As they were leaving the hospital, exhausted but relieved, Sophia looked up at Eliza with fever-bright eyes. "Liza, are you going to be my new mommy?" The question hung in the air between them. Noah looked mortified. "Sophia, honey, that's not. Because I'd like that," Sophia continued, oblivious to the adult's discomfort. "Daddy smiles more when you're around. And you make good pancakes." Eliza knelt down to Sophia's level, her heart pounding. "Sophia, I care about you and your dad very much. But becoming someone's mommy is a big decision that grown-ups need to think about carefully. Sophia nodded solemnly. Like when I had to think carefully about which puppy to draw for art class. Exactly, Eliza said, fighting a smile. Just like that, but even bigger. Okay, Sophia said, apparently satisfied. But when you decide, can we get a real puppy to celebrate? The tension broke as Noah laughed. Let's get you home and feeling better first, negotiator. That night, after Sophia was tucked into bed with her fever finally breaking, Noah and Eliza sat on his front porch swing, a comfortable silence between them. I'm sorry about what Sophia said, Noah finally spoke. She shouldn't have put you on the spot like that. Don't apologize, Eliza said. She's a child saying what she feels. It's refreshing, actually. Still, I don't want you to feel pressured. Eliza turned to face him. Is that what she wants? What you want? Noah took a deep breath. I want you in our lives, Eliza. I've fallen in love with you. But I understand if that's not what you. She silenced him with a kiss, gentle but certain. When she pulled back, she saw hope dawning in his eyes. I'm still scared, she admitted. Loving you means loving Sophia too, and that's a responsibility I don't take lightly. What if I mess up? What if I'm not good at this? Nobody's good at it right away, Noah said. I certainly wasn't. The first time I had to do Sophia's hair by myself, it was so lopsided she looked like she'd been in a windstorm. The first time she got sick, I called my mother in tears because I couldn't remember if the medicine was supposed to be 1 teaspoon or 2. That doesn't make me feel better, Eliza laughed. My point is, we figure it out as we go. Together. And Eliza? For what it's worth, I think you're already better at this than you realize. The next weekend, they took Sophia to the same park where they'd first met. While Sophia played on the swings, Noah turned to Eliza. Remember that day? You were sitting right over there, pretending to read but actually watching us. I was not. Eliza protested, then relented. Okay, maybe a little. You were sweet with her. It was nice to see. I saw you too, you know. Sitting there looking so beautiful and thoughtful. I made Sophia ask you for help with the kite on purpose. What? Eliza gasped. The kite wasn't really tangled? Oh, it was definitely tangled, Noah laughed. I just could have fixed it myself. But I wanted an excuse to talk to you. You sneaky. Daddy. Watch me jump. Sophia called from the swing, pumping her legs to go higher. Noah positioned himself in front of the swing, arms outstretched just as he had that first day. Jump, I'll catch you, he called. Sophia launched herself through the air, complete trust on her face. Noah caught her effortlessly, spinning her around as she giggled. When he set her down, Sophia ran to Eliza. Your turn, Liza. Oh, I don't think, Eliza began, but Sophia was already pulling her toward the swing. Please. Daddy will catch you. He's really strong. Feeling slightly ridiculous but unable to resist Sophia's pleading eyes, Eliza sat on the swing. Noah stood before her, a playful smile on his face. I don't know about this, Eliza said, barely moving the swing. Trust me, Noah said, his eyes holding hers. Jump, I'll catch you. Something in his expression told Eliza he was talking about more than just the swing. Heart pounding, she pushed off, swinging higher and higher until, with a moment of reckless courage, she let go. For a breathless second, she was airborne, suspended between past and future. Then Noah's arms were around her, solid and secure, bringing her safely to earth. See, he whispered against her hair. I told you I'd catch you. Eliza looked up at him, at this man who had unexpectedly become so important to her, and at Sophia bouncing excitedly beside them. In that moment, she made her decision. Maybe falling for you isn't bad after all, she said softly, just for him to hear. 6 months later, they returned to that same park, this time with a small gathering of friends and family. Under an arch of flowers, with Sophia as their flower girl, Eliza and Noah exchanged vows. When the minister pronounced them husband and wife, Sophia squeezed between them for a family hug. "Does this mean I can call you Mom now?" she whispered to Eliza. With tears in her eyes, Eliza nodded. "I would be honored." That evening, as they danced under strings of lights, Noah held Eliza close. "Happy?" he asked. Eliza looked around at their gathered loved ones, at Sophia twirling in her flower girl dress, at the simple gold band on her finger. "More than I ever thought possible," she answered truthfully. "You know," Noah said, "when Claire died, I thought that was it for me. I thought I'd had my one chance at love. I never imagined I'd find someone who would not only love me but love Sophia as her own. And I never imagined I'd find someone worth taking the risk for," Eliza replied. "Thank you for catching me." Noah smiled, the same smile that had first caught her attention across a sunlit park. "Always," he promised. "Every single time." As the stars appeared overhead and their new life stretched before them, Eliza knew there would be challenges ahead, the everyday complexities of blending their lives, of parenting, of nurturing their relationship through whatever came their way. But looking into Noah's eyes, with Sophia's small hand finding hers as the little girl rejoined them, Eliza felt something she hadn't felt in a very long time, the absolute certainty that she was exactly where she belonged. Sometimes the greatest leaps in life require the courage to fall, trusting that the right arms will be there to catch you. And sometimes, those arms belong to the people you least expect, a single dad and his daughter on an ordinary day in the park, waiting to become your extraordinary forever. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us love is always worth the leap of faith. Share in the comments below about a time when you took a chance on love. We'd love to hear your story too.